Okay, I do hereby call this Maize City Council meeting to order and ask for roll call, please.
Councilmember Kevin Reed.
Present.
Councilmember Allison Creed.
Here.
President Jennifer Harrington.
Here.
Councilmember.
Okay, if we could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance in a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. All right, item number 4 is the approval of the agenda. We're going to have one change with the consent agenda, is that correct? There you go. Do we need to make a vote on that or no? We're just going to move it? Okay, great. Okay, so I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda as changed.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve the agenda as amended.
I'll second that. I have a motion second to approve the agenda. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, motion carries. Item 5 is public comments. Not seeing any. No? Item 6 is the consent agenda. I would entertain a motion for that.
I would move we approve the consent agenda as presented.
I second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to business, item 7A, Kyoto USA property tax resolution.
Good evening, Mayor
Joe.
and Council.
How you doing?
Good. On February 20th, 2017, the Maize City Council entered into an economic incentive agreement with Coyote Yushi Manufacturing, hereafter known as KYMA. KYMA was established as a dedicated manufacturing entity to serve America's markets. Coyote Yushi USA has been the sales arm of Coyote Yushi in America since 1996. As operations have grown, the two entities have merged under the corporate title of Coyote Yushi USA Inc., further known as KYUS, to focus on future growth. Our bond attorney, Gilmore and Bell, has reviewed the 2017 Economic Incentive Agreement, determining that the merger does not violate any of the terms of the agreement between the parties from 2017. Gilmore and Bell recommends the passage of the resolution that's attached to this agenda item, drafted by them to be filed with the Sedgwick County Appraiser, explaining the name change. Recommendation is to adopt the resolution drafted by Gilmore and Bell to approve the merger of KYMA into KYUS, maintaining the property tax exemption in full force and effect in accordance with the terms of the 2017 Economic Incentive Agreement. And Mr. Craig Bay from Coyote Yushi is here this evening if you happen to have any questions for him. I'll just put him on the spot.
Any questions? It's pretty cut and dry.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion here that we adopt the resolution drafted by Gilmore and Bell to approve the merger of KYMA with and into KYUS, maintaining the property tax exemption in full and effect in accordance with the original terms of the 2017 Economic Incentive Agreement.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second to adopt the resolution drafted by Gilmore and Bell to approve the merger of KYMA with and into KYUS, maintaining the property tax exemption in full force and in effect in accordance with the original terms of the 2017 Economic Incentive Agreement. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Thank you. Thanks for coming. If you want to hang out, you're welcome to. Thank you. We're going to move on to new item 7A1. Nick, howdy.
we're adjusting the job descriptions to better depict what those roles actually do on a day-to-day basis. We've retitled the positions. We're not changing the pay scale. We're not changing the pay scale for those positions. We're not changing the people in those positions, and we're not adding any additional employees. What we're doing is we're retitling those positions to better align with how the roles actually work on a day-to-day basis. And we're making room for an entry-level position in the utility side with the technician position. Yes, sir.
Did we get out of order, or did you just call the wrong agenda item?
No, we moved this out of the consent agenda and moved it to 7A1, which was right after.
Okay,
Yeah.
you just said it was the travel policy.
No, I'm sorry. Did I say travel
You
policy?
did.
I apologize.
That's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
I just wanted,
Public Works.
sorry I interrupted.
I apologize.
No worries. So anyway, like I said, this is the first step towards separating the streets and public works. We wanted that entry-level position on the utility side to start shifting some of the day-to-day routine water and sewer-related tasks over to the utility side and get them away from the streets personnel. And like I said, there's the same people who are going to be in those roles. We're not going to be adding any additional full-time employees at this time, and we won't be changing the pay scale for those positions. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have.
When do you think we're going to be in need of adding for this entry-level position? Do you have any idea?
We're currently advertising for it now. We have the 2 full-time openings right now on the street side. Currently under the operations supervisor on the street side of the Public Works Department, there's 7 full-time employees. And I'm going to make that 5 and move 2 that are currently open and unfilled over to under this utility supervisor supervision.
Just one clarification. We won't, as far as the street maintenance and as far as this position goes, they're still going to have to be interchangeable to a degree. So if you look at the language we put under there, they will still be required to do some street work. So this is just our first step towards having to.
Duties as assigned and cross-trained?
Yeah.
Still?
Really, it's no different than how we currently operate. My vision is for these 2 water and wastewater technician positions to be the first guys that are going to handle those day-to-day duties as opposed to the streets guys. And yes, everybody's currently cross-trained as much as we possibly can, and that's still going to be the case for quite a while. This is going to take some time to get into.
Yeah, I appreciate the clarification. I was having a hard time determining whether there was an added
And I
position or.
went over a little bit of this a couple of meetings ago when I did my department presentation for my vision and you weren't here, so
Gotcha. Thank you.
sure.
So eventually we'll get like a new, or at some point see a new flow chart.
You got to see a draft of one before, but yeah, we'll, as we work on our overall city org chart.
The drafted city org chart should be attached on your
There is
agenda.
one.
okay.
Yep, there's one in here.
I wasn't looking at.
The titles have been changed accordingly on the pay scale as well, too.
So with like ours, we've had all the snows. So going forward though, when you say all hands on deck, that means
Keep it on keep on to it as long as we can.
Kind of going off base a little bit, but you mentioned CDL, and I know that's a pretty nice thing to have. Do we have a program to get our public works guys to want to get those, or what are we doing there, if anything?
One of the things that I want to do is once we kind of get this utility side all lined out, I want to begin working on the street maintenance positions, the maintenance worker 1, 2, and 3 positions. And I want to incentivize the maintenance worker 2 position to have a CDL. Currently, the program that we use is we work with USD 266, and we funnel our guys through their program for the theory portion of it. It's the written part, and you have to watch videos and take a test. And then at that point, you can go down and take your written test at the DMV. And then if you pass your written, then you get your learner's permit to drive.
you have to take a driver's test.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
There's also some instructional classes through KMU as well, so.
Yep, there are some Right. There
which
are
is
some
Kansas
CAMU that we
Municipal
can't.
Utilities that we've
But
gone.
fortunately, going through the school, we don't have to pay any money for that, and we're saving a lot of money being able to do that.
Just a point, if we're paying to have this done, I'm not saying it'll happen to us, but it might. A lot of folks, if they get a CDL, they can go make some pretty good money sometimes. And so I would want, kind of like our police officers, when they go through the training, there should be some terms of service that if we're going to pay for that, I would want you to look into that.
Sure, I would agree.
Does that make sense?
Sure. Mhm. I mean, currently, the most we pay right now is for the exam fee, which is
Right.
$25.
Okay. I didn't know if there was more to that or not. I hear a lot of
The most
companies in my field, they'll train their guys and then they're off. So,
Yeah, that's where that theory portion of the training comes in now. The Highway Association changes the rules, and so
and some cities that I've been visiting, they're not even buying CDL type trucks anymore. They're not even they don't have any CDL people.
Yep.
And they don't even buy anything that requires a CDL
That's the
anymore.
way-
They're going to lightweight stuff.
that's the way that a lot of people are going to. And fortunately, we have just enough guys right
Yeah,
now.
okay. Thank you. Any other questions, guys? So I guess I would entertain a motion to.
Mr. Mayor,
Yeah,
I would move to approve the updated position descriptions, organizational chart, and pay scale.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the updated positions and pay scale and descriptions. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Thank you, Nick. Thank you. Thanks for coming out. Okay, now, travel policy. 7B is a boy.
Good evening again. So we are starting to work our way through the City of Maize Administrative Policy Manual, and as we do so, we'll be bringing policies back to you over the next several months. One that was noticeably absent when we started going through the administrative policies was the fact that we did not have a travel policy for the City of Maize. Of course, fiscal responsibility requires that we define authorized expenses, methods of travel, reimbursement procedures, and a structured approval process. The use of taxpayer dollars for employee travel must be closely managed, and restrictions on costs and types of expenses should be documented. Administration finds it necessary to adopt a formal taxpayer-funded travel policy to ensure accountability and ensure the costs are approved in advance of travel whenever necessary. Adopting a formal policy removes guessing and individual interpretation, providing clear guidance to all staff on our travel expectations. Highlights of the attached city-funded travel policy include: we'll cover all persons using City of Maize travel funds for official travel, ensures that department directors verify sufficient funds are available in advance of travel, requires advance approval of travel with the submission of a City of Maize travel request form. Modes of travel will be analyzed with consideration for the most advanced traffic fines, alcohol, clothing, and gifts, spouse and family travel. And the city manager may approve exceptions to the policy when circumstances dictate. Adoption of the city-funded travel policy ensures consistency in the manner with which employee travel is approved and paid. And I will say that on the attached travel policy on page 5, paragraph D, third line, as I was looking at it again today, I did miss one spot that will be fixed on the approved policy. It should read the completed City of Maize travel request form in lieu of what is said there currently. And that'll be corrected before we publish it. And I'm recommending that the city approve, or that you approve the city-funded travel policy as presented to take effect tomorrow. And I will be the victim of the first 2 trips of this policy. So I will be the guinea pig. And I'll stand for questions.
Oh, what is the travel budget for 2025?
Depends on the department. So every department has its own budget. I believe we put, and it's buried in more than one line, right? So if you're going to a conference or a training session, we have a line for conference fees and training and et cetera. And then we have another line for meals and mileage. So I know that our conference fees line is 15,000 for all of the administration side. And I think we're at 8,000 for mileage and meals and things like that. It could be a little bit less than that, but off the top of my head, it's lower than the cost for conferences and dues and fees.
And does the travel policy apply to the council members?
It applies to all persons using city-funded travel.
And who approve all the council members' travel?
It just run through the city manager
City manager?
to Kelly.
Okay. Just want to know that.
Hopefully, we'll be able to clarify some of those expenses as we start to get into the chart of accounts and right now, things are buried the way the chart of accounts are set up. And so that's one thing we hope to clarify as well when we start to unravel that a little bit here.
This is just part of us growing up as a city. This is one of those things we've just always handled it, and now it's going to be in writing, which is what needs to happen. So it's just part of it. So nothing that we haven't done differently. It's just
We're
now
formalizing it. so everybody's on the same page.
now we've got it documented. So
Yes.
everybody knows what their expectations are.
And Tom has reviewed it.
Yes.
Then I would move that we approve the city-funded travel policy as presented to take effect as of January 7th, 2025.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the city-funded travel policy as presented to take effect on January 7th, 2025. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Thank you, Joe.
No, where are you headed?
Well, I go to Great Bend the 14th and the 15th for certified public manager training. And then the 29th through the 31st, I'm at ICSC in Dallas for the shopping center convention with our consultant.
Moving on to item C's, Charlie, the, what is it? Generally accepted accounting principles waiver.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is really a maintenance item that we do every year. This item will, passing this gap resolution will put us in compliance with state law. And as in the past, the city will follow the KMAG, which is the Kansas Municipal Audit and Accounting Guide. This is something that we do every year as we kind of wrap up the year and get our financial statement prepared. So I will stand for any questions if you have any, but this is really just a maintenance item.
Are we approving it for 2025?
It is for 2024's financial statements.
Mr. Mayor, I would move to approve the gap waiver resolution for 2024.
I'll second that.
Motion and second to approve the gap waiver resolution for 2024. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Thank you. Thanks,
Thank
Kelly.
you.
Item D, approve the appointment and contract for Christy Barton Edwards as municipal court judge.
Good evening. Tonight before you is the mayor's appointment of Christy Barton Edwards as the municipal court judge. With this approval by the council, we can then move forward with the approval of her contract, and those are two separate items. She did have plans to be in attendance here tonight, but with the weather, it was best for her to stay home. And then we will do her swearing in, her oath of office when she is here in person and can safely do so. If you have any questions, I'll be available for those, or Nick can answer any questions as well.
Tom, do you have any comments about that at all, or you good? Okay, thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Yeah,
I would move to authorize the mayor to sign the agreement between the City of Maize and Christy Barton Edwards as municipal court judge.
You'll need to formally approve the appointment as well, so.
I'll add to that, approve the appointment of Christy Barton Edwards as municipal court judge.
I'll second that.
okay, I got a motion and a second to approve the appointment and contract for Christy Barton Edwards as a municipal court judge, and also to approve the appointment of Christy Barton Edwards as a municipal court judge. What else am I supposed to add to that? That's it.
Nothing, we'll do the swearing in on
Yeah, we'll do the
Wednesday,
swearing in on Wednesday. Okay,
before court.
Sign the agreement.
We'll authorize the mayor to sign the agreement between the city of Maize and Christie Barton Edwards as a municipal court judge. That's what I missed. Thank you.
Do we need to put a date on that for the January 8th?
Effective today. She's already signed it, so
Okay, all right.
this would be your approval.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. I think you guys are going to be happy with her. Item E, ordinance that approves agreement and respread specials assessments from Property City, which is purchased for water tower site, land the seller owns.
As you're aware, the city council entered into an agreement to build a new water tower out at the industrial park and to purchase the land. To do that, it'll be out, the approximate area is right by, it'll be in the industrial park in one of the reserve areas. But as part of this effort to do this, we'll need to, that land previously had specials on it, and that will need to be removed. And this essentially, this ordinance will remove the specials from that property and put it all onto the other piece that the city's not going to be receiving. And so we'll be this area that doesn't necessarily benefit from all the specials in the area. In fact, doesn't have any street access or anything of that nature. What this ordinance basically does is removes those specials that doing a phase 1 environmental and also surveying the property and working on the final title work for it as well. So we're still in the process of doing due diligence with the remainder of that. But this.
Any questions? Motion?
Mr. Mayor, I would like to make a motion to pass the ordinance that approves the respread of special assessment agreement that is attached to the ordinance.
I'll second.
Who wants to take it?
Go ahead, Jennifer.
I'll
Jennifer,
second.
okay. Got a motion and a second to approve the ordinance that approves the agreement that respreads special assessments from Property City is purchasing for a water tower site to other land the seller owns. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. At this point,
I would move that the governing body recess into executive session to discuss personnel matters involving a police officer on administrative leave and an incident that involved 3 police officers while on duty. Both matters are justified under KSA 75-4319B1, which allows the governing body to discuss in an executive session personnel matters of non-elected personnel. The meeting should resume in this room at
No.
6:40. Okay, 15 minutes from now. 6:40.
okay,
Move to executive
we're in
session.
executive. Thank you. Okay. All right, we're back from executive. No action was taken. And with nothing else on the agenda, I would entertain an adjournment motion for.
I motion we adjourn.
Second.
Got a motion and second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
We'll send out an invite